Num 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 num. Hello book baddies and besties and welcome to my channel. First things first, you can't pretend I'm clicking it with my very long nails. We are gonna try this Cosmic Stardust Alani. I have not tried this yet, so let's try it together. Not bad. Not my favorite. It kind of tastes like grape, and I'm not a fan of grape. But I love this packaging. Alrighty. Before we start this video, and dig deep down into the nitty-gritty of things, I just want to preface this whole entire video with this is just an introduction to me and this channel, as well, just as a whole. I'm going to try not to make this video 1,000 years long, but I also want to make sure that I cover everything. Also, I have my notes just down there, so if you notice that I keep looking down here, because I will, it's because I have notes and things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, and probably the most important thing, is my name. My name is Maggie, but you can pretty much call me Mags, Magsy. And as my channel implies, my online persona is Magsy, which is really just Maggie in a different font if you really think about it. That's me. I am Maggie. Magsy is me. This is also gonna be my main BookTube channel, and I'm very excited. And it's gonna be a place where I'm gonna try and concentrate more on longer form content. And I say longer form because I do a lot of short form content, specifically on TikTok and, as of recently, Instagram. But that's just more like posts and stuff. I haven't really dove into shorts or anything like that, really. But yeah, just a little shameless plug to some of other things that I do, because I'm very heavily on social media. I just am really bad at constantly uploading just because of work and stuff. But I do have a makeup channel and a gaming channel, and I also stream over on Twitch, and I've been doing some reading sprints and stuff on there lately. We do a bunch of like co-working stuff, games, an eclectic variety of different things. All those things pretty much can be found in the link in my bio, I think. With all that being said, let's get this party started, shall we? What you came here for. Well, part of what you came here for, probably. So, let us bring it back all to the beginning, shall we? To the beginning of time. My time, obviously. So, in the beginning, obviously, since I was just a wee babe, I've always been a book girly. I grew up loving to read, and I've grown up reading a lot of genres. I really don't have a genre that I won't read, or at least try. But specifically, it was a lot of YA, a lot of fantasy, romance, dystopian genres that I was really gravitated toward, which are pretty much all the genres that I read right now that I think about it. But my tastes have broadened. My horizons have expanded, obviously, as an adult, which makes sense since I am the same person I used to be, but I've grown and changed. So I really haven't changed in my tastes. Rather, my tastes have been more refined. But overall, I think up until mid to late high school, I'd say, I was a very active and avid reader. I think as a lot of people are, but that pretty much completely stopped for like 5 to 6 years when I went to college, which I also think is a common occurrence. And when I say it was a dry spell, it was like drier than the Sahara Desert, like no books. I was not enjoying any books, just books from college pretty much. A lot of shit was going on, as it does during college. I was a student athlete, I was a full-time student, and I was working, so your girl had a lot on her plate. With a lot of highs and lows, but I digress. It was just, reading was pretty much non-existent for me at that time. Also, if you hear a bunch of stuff in the background, those are my cats. I have 3 and they are a handful. But yes, up until quite literally last year, the year of 2024, there was a book void in my heart that I didn't realize that I needed to be filled. And I found my love of reading again through the ACOTAR series, thanks to my wonderful butthead of a sister. And then following that series with Fourth Wing, I was in it to win it. I dove headfirst into reading and I haven't stopped ever since. Like, quite literally haven't stopped ever since. Now, not to get dark, and I say this because I welcome all aspects and forms of mental health. With that being said, I rediscovered my love of reading during, I'd say, a fairly dark part of my life. Or at least one of the darkest parts of my life. My dad had recently been diagnosed with a fatal diagnosis of lung cancer, in which he passed away from last year. And honestly, I can't even believe it's almost been a year since that happened. But anyway, through reading, I found so many amazing people who have really helped me through those tough times. And quite honestly, the roughest days. They've been there for me, and I honestly couldn't have been more blessed with the people that I found and have surrounded me. They have truly found a special place in my heart. But I don't want to leave out anybody, so I want to shout out to all the besties who have been there for me. Y'all have done more than I feel like you think you have. Like, just being there has meant so much. So I can't leave y'all out either. So around this same time that I stumbled onto Book Talk, it's been a crazy few years, but reading has slowly been evolving for me, and one of those evolutions is finding Book Talk and starting my own Book Talk account. And that quite literally has taken over my entire life. Because, I mean, without that, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. Right here, talking to y'all. So, Book Talk is another one that I need to thank and give all my praise to, because, one, it gave me another purpose, an escape, a way to reach others in a time I didn't feel like I could. Just a wonderful space where people nerd out about books. Like, what better thing can you ask for in a platform, honestly? So, with that saying, another shameless plug is that my TikTok has almost grown and hit to 600 besties, and I honestly can't believe that. I would have never. The shock it brings me is still, like, new. That just, like, the support is uncanny. So, with that, now that we've discussed a brief backstory into this whole mess, let's get into some kind of bookish, BookTube, like, overall questions. Like a mini book tag of sorts. Because I'm not, if anything, but indecisive. So, to start us off, the first question that I have written down is, what is your favorite color? Because that is a very important question. Yes, that is easy. It is purple. All shades of purple. Purple is my pink to some people. I am quite obsessed. But honestly, I love all colors, and I know that's like a cop-out answer, but I am just a rainbow inside. So, that is my answer for that question. We're not gonna get into it because I am a graphic designer and I just love colors. But purple. Purple. Answer's purple. What is my favorite genre? Now, my favorite genre, as of right now, I've been devouring dark romances, like num 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 num. Specifically dark rom-coms. I read the Ruinous Love trilogy, ate that up. I'm like on my third and fourth reread, and it's delicious. Specifically the audiobooks. I won't get into it too much, but I read them via audiobooks. Obsessed. And then I went into Lights Out and loved. Obsessed. Obsessed. I can't wait to read Caught Up by Nafisa Allen. I also read that via audiobook, but the audiobook for Caught Up has not come out yet, so we're waiting on that. So what book are you currently reading? Well, that's a funny thing. That's a funny question that you asked because, you know my answer to my previous question? Well, IDK what to tell you because I am reading Lost and Lassoed. Yes. You know, sometimes you gotta balance out life, and I'm balancing it out with dark romance and cowboy romance. That is how just how life goes, you know? So I'm currently reading that by Layla Sage. I didn't quite like Done and Dusted. I really liked Switched and Saddled, and so we're gonna see how I like Lost and Lassoed. Yeah, and I think her next one comes out this month. No, it comes out next month, because this month is pretty much almost over with. Alrighty, on to the next question. Oh, actually, I forgot to add. Like, I have really no explanations on why I'm reading a cowboy romance in the midst of my dark romance era, but I'm also bouncing between like 5 other books. Just, you know, as a mood reader, I've got to cover all my bases. So, yeah. I'm reading one, but I'm also reading like 5. Okay, now on to the next question. What kind of books do you like to read? So, I don't know what kind of question this is. I just copy and pasted it off of a Google search. But I did pick it to put in this video, so like that's on me, but like what does it exactly mean? Does it mean genre or does it mean like series or standalones? Unsure. So I don't know. Since the dawn of time, I've always gravitated towards books that are parts of a series, which is really a blessing and a curse when you really think about it, you know, because sometimes a series is 1,000 books long, which is like my bread and butter, but it takes a millennia to get through. Yes. Like, for instance, the Black Dagger Brotherhood series by J.R. Ward is like 15 books long or something, I think. And I haven't even gotten halfway through. I started that years ago, and there's like no end in sight for that series. Yeah, I love me a series. Now, it is hard when that series is not fully out and completed, mostly because sometimes I forget about that series, and then when the book does come out, I'm like in the midst of 5 other series, and it's just hard to get back to that series. You know, just book trouble things, you know? There are a few books that I do really like as standalones, but they're very far and few between. Because, again, even if I judge a book by its cover, it's gonna be a part of a series. It's just, I don't know. It's the universe's way of telling me that I need to stick to reading series. But yeah. Moving on to the next question. It is, what are some tropes that you love? Just to name a few. Okay, I have a ton of tropes that I love, and like micro tropes, so forth, and so on. But a couple are enemies to lovers, the one bed trope, fated mates, forced proximity, he falls first, age gap. And then I put monster question mark. I don't know if that's a trope or rather a genre of books. Monster? Unsure. But I put that there just to put it out into the universe. Second question, or next question, not the second question, next question. What is your preferred way to read? And that is a good question. As a mood reader and a very indecisive person, I'm in all forms of type. Forms type? Girl, I do not know how to type on a computer. I'm in all forms type of reading girly. I've recently been seriously obsessed with audiobooks. Like, obsessed with audiobooks. Like, I've always liked audiobooks, but ever since listening to Butcher and Blackbird, and that series, listening has really, like, been elevated for me. And I'm honestly here, and I'm sat for it. Although, I typically read via Kindle because, one, I'm a proud member of the Kindle Girlies Club. And two, I have the phone on my app. I have the app on my phone. And it just makes sense reading on the go because it's so easy. Now, I know it's terrible for my eyes, but you know, who needs eyeballs? But I also love a physical book, especially when I'm reading a thriller. Like, I don't know, there's something about going like boop, 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 and like, it also helps me not skim and jump forward and spoil myself. I don't know, something about the book. I don't know. But yeah. Next question. What is your favorite bookish memory? I don't know if I have a singular bookish memory that stands out amongst others. However, my favorite book-related things to do is read the same thing as my sister and then getting to yap about them together. Kind of in the same way as book clubs or just talking to my besties about a book. It's just like another thing for us to bond over. And it makes me really giddy, and I just nerd out about books because if it's one thing about me is that I obsess over books that I love. Like, I've been planning tattoos and merch and things that I want from particular books to come to life for me. And like, when I obsess hard. Like, getting multiple copies of a book that I love and them living rent-free in my head, that kind of thing. But another thing is that something that I feel like I've always felt is a special thing we do is that we love to reminisce about the books that we read growing up and during our teen years. Like, we talk about it pretty much every time we call each other, just like books just randomly get brought up, and I don't know, it just fills my heart with fluffy, happy feelings. So yeah. What makes you passionate about books? I think it's for the simple fact that reading is subjective. We could have 100 readers read the same book and they'll all have a different experience. And then we can come together as a collective and talk about it. And I just really love that. I also love escaping into different worlds. I love finding new aspects about myself through books. I love finding indie authors and reading their work. All in all to say, I just love reading as a whole. I think obviously the community and I feel like the fans really make particular book communities worth it, in my instance. I mean, the book can be great, like the Twilight fandom. Like, the books are great, but the people are what make it meaningful and amazing, in my opinion. They've just done so much for me that I love them back just as much as they love me, if that makes sense. again, it kind of goes back to me being obsessed with books. Like, the books that I'm obsessed with, I stand for and will proclaim it, like, with my chest. I will proclaim my love for it without any hesitation, no matter what other people think. I stand behind it, and yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that answered the question, but I just feel passionately about books. So going on to the next question, we have 3 more. Why did you start a BookTube channel? Great question. Now, I've always wanted to, like, quote-unquote do YouTube, but I haven't really been able to stick to a specific thing or niche due to my makeup and gaming channel. But since I simply don't know when to shut up, and I tend to do longer videos on TikTok anyway, I just made the jump and made a YouTube channel because I want to get back into kind of a creative flow of things, and I wanted to do it for something that I love just as much as makeup and gaming, and the community I have found has really inspired me. I mean, I watch Larry, Mariana, Laura, just kind of like Yana, and all their videos have really inspired me to just like jump in and do it, and here I am. I also loved, or I love currently, YouTube and the joy that others like videos bring to me, and I want to be a part of that and perhaps be a light in the darkness for others, even with my chaotic mess that is me. But yeah, that's pretty much why. It's not really that deep, but I just wanted to, so I did it. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. What are your goals for your channel? I've always found it hard to keep up with content creation due to the fact that I haven't always had the best schedule because my work schedule is all over the place. You know, just pulling back a curtain on reality for a little bit. I have like a million ideas and things that I want to create for this channel and just in general. So with that in mind, this year of our Lord and Savior, Zayden Ryerson, I'm planning and hoping that in keeping up with content and such will help set a better, well-structured schedule for me, because I thrive. Because as an ADHD haver, like I mentioned before, I thrive on structure and schedules, but I'm also very bad at creating said structure and schedule, so this is going to hopefully help me. With that being said, I'm going to try and get these videos up on Mondays, and we'll go from there, honestly. Now, what kind of, and like, so going back onto that question, our last question is, what kind of content do you plan to create? Now, this is a good question. LOL. I am obviously going to be creating book-related content first and foremost. However, I am not opposed to doing more vlogging of daily life things later down the road, even though my life is very uneventful. However, I don't think that will be in the cards until quite further down the line, just because of, again, how busy my schedule is as of right now. This isn't a full-time job right now, at least. I won't be able to do more than book content for now, honestly. Complete honesty from me to you. To go a bit more in depth of exactly what kind of videos I plan on putting out are not limited to, but include reading wrap-ups, TBRs and hopefuls, recommendations, reading vlogs, book hauls, and reviews, just to name a few. But yeah, that is that was my last question. So yeah, that was my little mini book tag and introduction to myself. I just ramble, honestly, and editing this is going to be interesting, but I hope you enjoyed just a little glimpse into who I am and who you are subscribing to if you so choose to do so. I am in it as much as you are, and I hope to make this something really special. I'm very excited to start this journey, and I honestly can't wait to just continue devouring books at a rate that I am right now, and just talking about them, because we love to yap here. So yeah, with that, again, just to reiterate, I will be trying to post on Mondays regularly, because that is one of the 2 days that I'm off. And yeah, my next video, I believe, is going to be my it's going to be my, as Larry says, Q1 reading wrap up, because not to go on another tangent, but I didn't read a whole lot in January and February, but I have read a significant amount in March, so I was just gonna clump them all together into one video. And we're gonna label it as Q1. So yeah, look out for that, and I appreciate y'all for being here, for sticking along. I do not know how long this video is going to be, but I appreciate if you stood with me and lasted as long as I did here right now. Remember, reading is subjective, so enjoy whatever the fuck you want, because life is too short otherwise. And happy reading. Goodbye! Until the next one.